It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed.
What's going on, everybody? Let's fix this. All right. So I know this was supposed to have been a 9/11 show. We will touch on 9/11, obviously. But I couldn't prepare. I couldn't finish preparing the show the way I wanted to prepare the show. So we don't have a 9/11 show. So because life happens, and when life happens, you got to go with it. And this is AJ's rant room, and like I've said a billion times, I don't rant about things that I don't care about. And not that I don't care about 9/11, but just this instance has taken precedent over the events of the day, which we will acknowledge, and which are very important as well. um but this right here, I mean, it happened. Live stream all day, went to bed, woke up. It's just there, right? It's just like something's just there and you can't ignore it. So you're like, yeah, this isn't gonna this it wouldn't even if I had like the whole show prepared, it wouldn't feel right to go talking about something that's still relevant, very relevant, and but it just wouldn't have felt right, knowing that this is where we are 24 years after 9/11. And it also got me to thinking about, if 9/11 happened today, what would that look like? You know, W- Donald Trump is president. God forbid, like something like this. But if some disaster strikes like that, would we be able to unify the way we did on 9/11 today? Would we? And I'm not very optimistic about it, I have to say. I'm not very optimistic about it. I don't think we would. I don't think we have the temperament that we had in 2001 and 2025. I don't think we have it. Now, that's not to say that it can't happen, or but I mean, I look at COVID. If there was one thing that should have brought us together, was COVID. But COVID was drawn on political lines, on social issues. The lines were drawn around frivolous boxes we like to check, right? But it wasn't. It should have been something that brought us together, because first of all, there's this traumatic virus that is affecting the world. It's a pandemic. It's not an it's a pandemic, which means it's global. And you would think that that would have, stopped some people and said, okay, this isn't the time to politicize and manipulate and stretch the truth and accuse the other side of one or the other and fighting over vaccinations and all this other crazy stuff. Like all of that stuff that happened when it should have been a unifier, right? And so I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. So I'm gonna do my best here to pay tribute to Charlie Kirk. I mean, I didn't always agree. I never met him. I was in the room one time with him. That was the Blexit rally in LA. And I remember he was like controlling the line. So he was like trying to get people on the proper lines or whatever. And I just remember when I got there, well, first of all, we know I have my gripes with Blexit, but but I was like one of few black people there. So of course, when they saw a black person get on the line, these bloggers just start swarming you. You want to talk to me? You want to talk to me? And I'm like, bro, what? I wasn't even doing anything on social media really at that point. So I was like, why you want to talk to me? Um, and so, but I just remember looking and I was like, oh my God, that's Charlie Kirk. And I was like, damn, he's tall. You don't know how tall really until you see someone in person. I'm like, damn, he's tall. And that was it. That was the only time I ever was in the same space knowingly with them. And I think he spoke that day at the Blexit, um, the presentation. I think he spoke that day, but I don't have any footage of it. I looked through the footage of that day. I didn't record anything of him. Wait, what happened? Oh, of him. Of him speaking, if he did that day. I don't remember. I don't recall. A lot of people spoke that day. And so I remember very little. I remember Candace Owens speaking. I remember David J. Harris speaking. I think Rob Smith spoke, and a few other people. Was Ben Shapiro there? No, I don't think Ben Shapiro was there. Somebody else was. I don't know, but a lot of people were there, and it was good. But I would have my one critique of Blexit. Was I would have liked to have seen more black people. If this is the Blexit, there should be black folks here. But that's not why we're here. So I'm just gonna I'm if you're looking for uh the people who are saying cruel things and just being evil, this ain't the place for you. This ain't the place, because I'm not giving those people any attention. It's going to be minimal attention in my closing monologue, and that's about it. That's all they're going to get. They're going to get about 3 sentences in this whole experience. I don't care whatever happens to their careers and their professions and their lives, and I don't care. That you brought it on yourself. So so that's not going to be the space. So we're not highlighting those people. We're playing uh beautiful tributes and good things. This is all about good vibes and really paying tribute to somebody who literally made the ultimate sacrifice, and just really showed how dangerous this work can be sometimes, because even my little micro influencer behind, even I have people who like, yeah, I hope you die, and if I ever see you, I'm gonna. And I mean, literally, why do you want to kill me? Like, what did I do? You don't have to like what I'm saying. I don't have to like what you're saying, but I don't want you dead. So the fact that somebody did this and crossed the line, like literally, they crossed the line, and this has changed everything. This has changed the whole game going forward. And we'll go over all of that. But I wanted to start out with President Trump's statement. I'm sure most, if not all of you, have seen it by now, but I just wanted to replay it to kind of just get the vibe check right. And once we get the vibe check right, then we'll go forward. But here's Trump's statement.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Just a good dude who wanted to have spirited debates in person, and was taken out by folks who just can't handle a conversation, even if it gets elevated. You know, we can have that conversation, but spot on. The message was spot on. The tone was spot on. The tribute was spot on. The president announced this morning that Charlie Kirk will posthumously receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which he absolutely has earned. Um, I don't see how he didn't earn it. And the only reason why they targeted Charlie was because he was actually effective. He was effective at rallying young people. And we all know that the left's target right now, young people. We want to get young people empathetic to degeneracy. We want to get young people empathetic to alternative lifestyles and things that they don't quite understand. Mhm. Yes, yeah, we that's what they want. And so when you have somebody as influential as Charlie who comes into the mix and starts stirring up the pot with the youth and start getting young folks on board and being politically active and really vocal about their beliefs and furthermore, really uh, pushing them not just to be politically active, but to be better Christians, to be stronger Christians, to be more vocal Christians. And so that's just a recipe for people who are not well. Yeah. And it wasn't an easy task. It's not an easy task. And to build the things that he built in 31 years is much more than the people who are applauding this. He has had more success in 31 years than they'll ever have in their lives. In terms of being effective, in terms of being the messenger, the person who was supposed to carry the torch. And here's the thing: we'll carry it forward, obviously, but I'll let Greg Gutfeld really make it clear. I'm more Greg Gutfeld than I am Charlie Kirk in terms of like how I approach this whole situation. So go, Greg.
Yeah, I know that it's somewhat object of mockery to say thoughts and prayers, but thoughts and prayers for his family. And they need it from all of us. And Jesse's right. If they could do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's really hard to radicalize Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like we're not the radical type. But if you thought that you were going to shut a movement down, you're going to get a rude awakening. You woke us the fuck up.
And we will.
You woke us the fuck up. That was it. Somebody sent me that video. I watched it once and I said, yeah, this is over. This is over. In terms of, we're all pretty bold and dynamic in our own ways, but I think we could do more, and we will. We will do more. In terms of a wake up call, I think this truly shines a light on who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. The bad guys are the ones who think that the Second Amendment means you can murder people. That's not why you have your Second Amendment, right? That's not why you have it. But when you have people who don't understand civics, they're constitutionally inept. This is what you get. People who think that gun control is the answer when gun control has clearly been proven to not be the answer, because even in the most strictest gun controlled districts in this country, there's still rabid violence. So obviously that's not the solution. The solution is raising your children right. That's a solution. All right. The solution is stricter sentences for people who commit heinous crimes. Yeah, that's the sentence. Making the death penalty damn near mandatory if you kill somebody recklessly with a firearm. That should literally be the sentence. That's it. Why are you here? If you can't respect your own constitutional right and you can't even, then how the hell are you going to ever be a civil member of society? We might as well just handle this as quickly as possible. And I don't want no death row where they get to appeal like 29 billion times. You get 1-2 appeals maybe, and we should be able to handle you within 5 years. We gotta upgrade some stuff here. Like a lot of things need to be upgraded, and they will be. This has literally set off a snowball effect, and while these people are applauding now, they will not be applauding on the back end. I can promise you that. They will sit back and play victim because this is what these people do. They will do something traumatic up front, and then when they get a reaction, they'll act like, "Oh my God, why are you hurting me?" You're being hurt because of your actions. Your actions put you here. And so when we try to have those conversations about right and wrong, about how a chain of events can lead to you getting in a situation that's messed up, George Floyd. Yeah. How a chain of events can lead to you getting hurt, maimed, killed, or destroying someone else's life. Yeah. But we never want to have those conversations. It's always about making the person who's wrong here the saint. And so you've made a martyr out of Charlie. And I just wanted to be clear. I mean, I know we're all smart here, but where are we? Go. So I just wanted to make clear that Charlie is in fact a martyr. Because he is a person who voluntarily suffered death as the penalty of witnessing to and refusing to renounce a religion, a person who sacrifices something great, of great value, and especially life itself for the sake of principle, a martyr to the cause of freedom. And that's what he was. He was. You don't go out and do the things like these tours, which I never had an interest in doing. It was never on my bucket list, and now it's really not. And because I know that these people don't want to have good faith conversations, they just want power. They just want to be in control. They want to be able to tell you what to do. They want to tell you what you are supposed to like, what you're not supposed to like, and they want to intimidate you out of your faith. They want to intimidate you out of your values, and it's just not going to happen. If anything, you just made it worse, And like Gutfeld said, it takes a lot. Not even just Republicans. It takes a lot to get conservatives to the place of radical, right? And then by the time conservatives are radical, they're just straight up right wingers. And those are the ones that go off the deep cliff, just like the extreme left, right? And so we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, he died because of his beliefs. That's it. He died because people could not handle a life view and a perspective that did not coddle them. And that right there tells you who the good guy is. It's not the guy sitting there smiling with a t-shirt on, just trying to talk to you. It's the person yelling at you, calling you all types of horrible names. Those are the bad guys. Those are the bad people. How could the good person be the person calling you racial epithets, calling you racist, calling you a Nazi, calling you the second coming of Hitler? That's not the good guy. The good guy is not doing that. That's the bad guy. That's the evil guy. That's the satanic. That's the devil. But here we are. So here's Byron Donalds this morning on wait, is it Byron Donalds this morning on Fox News.
But Laura, we can't retreat from the crazy left. We simply can't. If you do, you're going to turn this country over to them. And that's not a provocative statement. That's a statement of fact. We have a responsibility in this moment to stand for the very principles that founded this nation, which is, yes, speaking your mind very clearly, petitioning your government, organizing, doing all those things, fighting for this Constitution, fighting for the future of America. That is the legacy of Charlie Kirk. And we can't have a situation where now we're fearful of even going out to eat with our loved ones or being outside. Obviously,
proper security measures should be taken, however.
All the security measures they need to take, but we cannot retreat from this insanity.
No, they win.
This country, and Charlie lived his life for this, this country is worth saving. It's the best thing ever created on the face of the planet Earth. We're 250 years in, and if we stand firm, we have another 250 years in front of us.
Facts. And that's why we can't retreat. The great experiment that is America, we can't give that up to people who don't even respect its flag. Want to selectively pull parts of its dark history out and act like it was all bad. We can't give it to those people. We can't give it to people who believe that this is stolen land. We can't give it to those people. No, no, no. No, no, sir. I agree 1,000-fold. We will never back down. We will never step down. Now, another thing that I was getting in my stream yesterday was the whole racism stuff, right? Because, of course, anytime you critique black people or the black community, or you critique something that the black community in Boke is covering up or trying to act like doesn't exist, that means you're racist. You know, it's a mind game, obviously, right? Um, oh, really? We have a suspect photo? Well, hold on. Let's take a little trip, shall we? Gosh, the keyboard is so far. Ah! Jesus. FBI releases images of person of interest. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. We got to definitely get this up here. Booyah. All right. Go here. Yes, that's what I got. So be on the lookout. Replace image. All right, so this is the photo released by the FBI. Hold on, let me swap me. There you go. And I was like, I was really concerned that the person was probably slick enough to get past cameras, and I'm like, there are cameras everywhere today. You can't get past the camera if you wanted to. And so we got an image of a suspect, and we're gonna get you, whether it's now or whether it's a little while from now, but we're going to get you. And when we do, fullest extent. And you know, I'm grateful that Utah still has the death penalty, so we don't have to make this a federal case, because we can literally have the state of Utah do the right thing. We just need the right jury, the right judge, the right prosecutor. And based on the governor yesterday, I think we do. And so you guys can go look this up. Definitely check it out, and make sure you spread the word on social media. I'm pretty sure it's all over X and Instagram at this point. I'll definitely be sharing it later, but this is the person of interest in the murder assassination of Charlie Kirk, and we will capture this person, and we will bring them to justice, and we will fry them, because there's no getting out. Whether you're gonna take yourself out, or the state of Utah is. Either way, it's gonna end in your death. That's it. Just want to let y'all know that it's either way, you're gonna end up dead too. So, and not in many years. Expedite. We need expedited. I can't believe there are people who are still on death row for like the 90s. Like, why are these people still here? Like, let's go. Let's just wrap this up. Anyway, so that's the animal that they're looking for right now. So what was I was talking about race. So let's be clear. There are several things that Charlie, I don't remember any of them off the top of my head right now, that Charlie may have said about race, or something that I'm sure there were some things I didn't agree with, or some things that I would have liked him to unpack more, but I can't remember any of that off the top of my head right now. I didn't have time to really unpack it myself because I didn't have enough time this morning. But racist he was not. You look at all of the youth all of the black youth that came through Turning Point USA and are now social media stars them in their own right. Yeah, it had nothing. It wasn't about race. It was never about race. And critiquing a community that will not face its own problems is not racism. That's not racism. I don't care how you try to remix and repackage racism. That's not racism. You're mad that he's not black and he's making an observation that you can't refute. That's what you're mad at. So I would rather people face the reality of why they're upset with something versus trying to spin it into something else. Charlie Kirk wasn't racist. He wasn't racist. Racist, I mean, do racist people do this?
How are you? What a beautiful kid that is.
Thank you.
What a gift from God.
Yeah. She truly is. She is the biggest blessing. Something that kind of has me like on the fence of whether or not I go kind of like full blown more like conservative or moderate is just seeing how high.
Give it up. That is a gift from the Lord, everybody. That is just beautiful.
I see that, we're starting to save a lot of money from things such as like Doge, but do you think that some of that money should go back to maybe like reforming the way that welfare is done to help poor families who do want to kind of pursue that American dream?
Great question. The number one objective of any social welfare program should be how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family. Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. The Democrat Party does not talk about dads at all. The Republican Party, we are talking about how men need to be men again, in the home, take responsibility, provide for your family, and with strong families comes smaller government and a better country.
What a bigot. Oh my goodness. But these are also the same people that attack one of my favorite people, King Randall the First. I've talked about King Randall the First at least 4 times on this program. He's a young black man in Albany, Georgia, who started his own school, who receives no government funding. Everything is funded from his supporters. And he's transparent with every dime he gets from the people. And he shows you, we asked you for money for X, we're buying X. We asked you for money for Y, we're buying Y. And this is how we used it. And this is where this is what we're going to, this is how we're going to design the room or whatever it is that he asked for, right? So they attack him as well. Not because he's doing the wrong thing, but because he's not a bleeding heart Democrat. He's not even a Republican either, but he's conservative. And that is an enemy to the government. Conservatism is the enemy. It is the government's enemy. Because social programs were, first of all, they were designed to be temporary, but then when they became this crutch for folks, that's when the rules got really crazy. Then you couldn't have a man in the home, or if you had one, they reduced the benefits to nothing, to damn near nothing, or you got nothing at all. And the social programs, for the most part, are not designed to help you wean off and become a functioning member of society on your own. And that's a big issue, and so that was a solutionary answer. He in no way, shape, or form disparaged her if she was getting social programs, and here's the thing, that's what they're there for, right? They're there when you fall on hard times, when things aren't going well and you need some support for a moment, right? That's what they were designed for. They weren't designed to be on it for the whole 18 years you're raising your child. That's not what they were designed for. And in that, it creates a dependency, and it doesn't help you, the person, the individual, go off and prosper on your own. So yeah, that was a great answer. And again, like I said, he helped many black kids in the Turning Point USA. In fact, Blexit came through Turning Point USA. In fact, all of those black people you saw in the White House, I think Trump's first term, with all the red hats on, before they realized people shouldn't be wearing their mask MAGA hats in the White House, before they got there and did that, was through Turning Point USA. So to sit here and say that this man was racist in any way, shape, or form, when he literally has supported folks who want a better life, who want to be successful, who want to be prosperous, right? So it's hogwash at this point. Just because someone is not whispering sweet nothings in your ear doesn't mean they don't want success and prosperity for you. In fact, the people who are lying to you is the government and the Democrat Party, but that's another conversation for another day. It should also be noted that Ben Shapiro has canceled all his college speaking engagements indefinitely. And I understand. The block is hot. This person is still on the loose. There's probably a whole bunch of copycats ready to do damage. And I think everybody, regardless, whether even if it's the left and you're on one of these tours, because they do these tours as well, you should stand down as well. Because nobody else needs to get hurt in this. Nobody else needs to get killed. Nobody else needs to be harmed in this, right? And so just stand down till we get this animal arrested and tried. And then we can figure out security wise going forward, how do you have these events? And it's going to be very measured going forward. It's going to be very measured. It's going to be very structured. It probably won't be outdoors anymore. And this changes the whole game. But here's Charlie speaking eerily. I think this was a few weeks before his death on Legacy.
I die?
If everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I mean, if I die?
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
Amen. And I will say this, and I'll say this in a moment, but the faith thing, I really woke up with that on my heart. The faith, because it's, for me and for many of us, for all of us probably, the faith side really, it has to be there to balance out the human side, because obviously the human being just wants to defend and protect and destroy, right? You've harmed us, we want to just take your head off, right? And it's that faith that stops you, right? It's that faith that calms you down. It's that faith that allows you to that gives you permission to forgive, because forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for you, right? You walking around with all of that hate and animus, and it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you get over it and get past it and move on. And so, yeah, the power of forgiveness it's an amazing thing. But faith, and you are mostly remembered for your faith, Charlie. And it's a crazy world we live in. But I'm gonna close with this. Calling people Nazis and fascists for over 10 years will radicalize the weak of mind. Weak of mind people idolize their race, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, their mental ill. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So, for Charlie, let's be clear. Calling people Nazis and fascists for over 10 years will radicalize the weak of mind. Weak of mind people idolize their race, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, their mental illness. And when one idolizes those attributes and they meet about someone like Charlie, they do not know how to process that. They render his worldview as hateful, bigoted. They see him as the enemy, not as a fellow American who just wants to have the deeper conversations. Those conversations test the strength of their arguments, the consistency of their worldviews. And when faced with the reality that what they believe and what they stand for is rooted in emotionalism, false idols, and immaturity, many people don't see it as a chance to refine their arguments, seek greater knowledge. They simply see people like Charlie as a person who hates them when that couldn't be further from the truth. They always perpetuate violence on those they disagree with. These are the same people who will quote Martin Luther King Jr., claim to be loving and inclusive and open, but once again, when you test that theory in the real world, you swiftly realize many of these people are anything but love and open and inclusive. These people want a safe space to idolize who they sleep with. These people want to use the color of their skin as a weapon to atone for historical hurts. These people have made gods out of their gender identity, thereby exacerbating mental illness instead of getting responsible about their internal crises. And there's no part of me that would ever, ever wish this on anybody who believes differently than me. We are all Americans, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, independent, Green Party, whatever. Nothing will ever trump us being human beings first. I don't condone violence in most forms, especially politically, no matter where it comes from. When all is said and done, we are human beings who are attached to other human beings who love us, who respect us, and just want us to make it home safe. The conversation can be spirited. It can get elevated. We can cuss, we can holler, but when all is said and done, I want you to go home to your family. And I would hope you'd want the same for me. But unfortunately, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, all of that has changed. This has changed how these tours will move going forward. This is proof that the left is in fact the radical ones, the violent ones, the hypocritical ones, hateful and full of rage when somebody doesn't navigate the world in the way they believe they should. Conservatives are simple when it comes to operating in this multi-dimensional, complex world of ours. You do you, I do me. I will not infringe on your ability to do you unless you start to infringe on my boundaries. If you ask a conservative what they believe most of the time, they will be very forthcoming and let you know exactly what they believe and why. Now, please make the distinction between a conservative and a radical right-winger, because they are not the same. The label of conservative has been tainted by not only those in the mainstream media, but by politically ignorant people on the right. Conservatives are not radicals. Right-wingers are. Liberals aren't even radicals. Leftists are. And many on all sides have lost their way into these extreme factions, and it's not a template for who we are. And for the people trying to use the Second Amendment to justify how Charlie died, this just proves how socially and constitutionally inept you are. Owning a gun doesn't mean you have the privilege or the right to be reckless with it. Much like owning a car doesn't give you permit to be irresponsible with it. The Second Amendment doesn't cover murdering a man in front of his wife and children because you do not agree with his worldviews. The level of immaturity that comes from spilling out, the level of immaturity that's spilling out from some of these people's mouths is beyond ridiculous. And to Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Gavin Newsom, and many other Democrat leaders who all made the same generic statements on social media yesterday, Charlie's blood is on your hands. If you condemn political violence, start with your own inflammatory rhetoric. You people have made it a point to radicalize the weak amongst you. Calling Donald Trump Hitler and all who support him Nazis for over 10 years is how we got here. Telling folks that their rights are going to be stripped, saying MAGA is racist, a cult, a hate group is how we got here. Constitutional crisis, no kings is how we got here. The left, Democrats historically have been more violent, the most oppressive, the most deceptive. Y'all have simply and effectively used messaging to radicalize mentally ill pawns in your base. And let me be clear, the parties never switched. They have always been violent, the most unhinged, the most degenerate, and the most socially manipulative. From Martin Luther King to Abraham Lincoln, to Ronald Reagan, to JFK, to Malcolm X, to Steve Scalise, and now to Charlie Kirk. Democrats will kill their own. Look at JFK. Look at the two legislators in Minnesota. Christians are being hunted because they know that we are the only faith rooted in truth. And if you had an effective retort, you would utilize that instead of a weapon. But you know that making your fetish a god will never hold up. You know that centering your racial identity will never hold up. Hitting the pavement to encourage mental illness will never hold up in an argument with a conservative. Being a Christian is not about being perfect. We all miss the mark every single day, and it ain't for the faint of heart. I have a lot of labels. You have a lot of labels. We all have a lot of labels that we walk around that we love about ourselves. But for me, the only label that truly matters is follower of Christ. Now, I'm not going to use much of this time to address people who continue to use awful tactics that I've already described to be joyous about robbing two babies of their dad. Those people are vermin, and any retaliation they are subjected to will be of their own doing. I don't care. And now to my fellow conservatives who kept sharing and reposting Charlie getting shot. You are part of the problem. Not everybody on this side is good. There are people who are just as evil, just as manipulative, just as money hungry as anybody on the left. There are several creators who will remain nameless who are hell bent on making a dollar no matter what. Watching one of our voices get silenced in front of his family is not content. It's not a moment to fish for views and likes and extra analytics. Like race, like sexuality, like gender identity, money should never be idolized. I'm not talking about those who made statements on the tragedy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sharing the actual tragedy and the aftermath of the tragedy and footage of him being carried to the SUV. be aware. Just be aware of having some couth, having some decorum about it. Because even with the Ukrainian young woman in North Carolina, the first thing I thought about when I watched her get her neck sliced and bleed out on a train is I'm like, oh my God, this young woman has a family. How do they feel watching their loved one get attacked on a train and seeing people repost it, share it, comment, good, bad, and indifferent? Who cares? So the same thing with Charlie. There's a time and a place for things. And it was disgusting to share that footage over and over and over again. And people are still sharing it this morning, who call themselves conservatives, who call themselves supporters. Like, we don't need to see that, and we don't want to. So take it down. It's not content. And while I didn't always agree with Charlie Kirk, he was a good dude. He loved all people. And he wanted all people to win. He put himself out there in front of the people in 3D. He didn't just do social media like many of us. He wanted to talk to people, look in their eyes, and unpack their arguments. Did he make some statements or take some stances that I absolutely disagreed with? Yes. Oh, yeah. But none of it came from a place of hatred or evil. It's called being a fully formed human being. And as a fully formed human being with our own lived experiences, we are not always going to see the world the same. But there was never a point where I wished harm on him or any of the other commentators who pushed the boundaries. President Trump announced that Charlie Kirk will receive a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom. He made the ultimate sacrifice for being unapologetically Christian, conservative, and most importantly, him. Well done, Charlie. All of us will pick up the mantle from here. In our own unique ways, we will keep moving forward what you started. We will absolutely keep it alive. We will take it to the next level. So where do we go from here? Well, for me, so far I'm clear that this will definitely make me bolder, much less open to engagement with frivolous, low IQ conversations. And it made me more aware of how dangerous this work can get sometimes. But we must face that danger head on. We must never allow people with such vitriol in their hearts and minds and spirits to force us to retreat. And I'm not Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk is not me. And I've been very clear, I don't like most people. So I'm not the person to go out there and talk to the people directly. I love everyone, but I don't like most. So how I engage and when I engage will remain the same. I will also get stronger in my faith and make it clear. When I do forgive, while I do forgive and I love the Lord, let's be clear, I will still punch you in your face. I don't believe in nonviolence in the face of evil. And like Gutfeld said, it takes a lot to radicalize Republicans. I mean, a hell of a lot to radicalize Republicans. And ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are at that moment. Now, as for you, I can't speak to your personal journeys. So that's between you and God on your next steps. But I will say you must keep God first in this. You must not back down. Being a person of faith is not for the weak. The world is wicked. The world is evil, and pushing back against such dark forces will sometimes be dangerous and lonely and frustrating. But I will say this: do not, I repeat, do not idolize your conservative values. Be your conservative values. Do not idolize your political affiliations. Just be your political affiliations. Sometimes it feels like you're gonna break, but I promise you, you won't. And we're humans. If you need to step away and take care of your mentals or your spiritual or whatever, absolutely do that. I saw this post on social media. It says, I saw this morning. It said, yesterday, Charlie Kirk was martyred for his faith. This morning, 1 million Charlie Kirks woke up. Now let that sink in. Yesterday, Charlie Kirk was martyred for his faith. This morning, 1 million Charlie Kirks woke up. We got it from here. We won't fail. We won't fall short. We won't miss the mark on the vision and the mission. We will always fall short in the eyes of God. Yes, we will never meet that. None of us ever will. But in terms of being boldly American, being boldly conservative, being boldly whatever, folks have just made it worse. And the retribution that's coming, I don't think y'all ready. Anyway, that's my TED Talk. I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Be loud, be out there, be expressive, do all the good things. Keep up the good fight. To Charlie, rest in peace, bro. This is absolute tragedy. Should have never happened. And once we get this suspect, we may never know why, but we will get justice. I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Thank you so much. I don't even want to do all that today. Y'all know how to support the channel. And that's all. I will catch y'all, those who are on TikTok. I'll catch y'all later on TikTok. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you so much. Peace.